Okay, good morning. Let's get started. It has been several weeks, so I just want to refresh your memories. And remember last time we had a talk about the curiosity in medicine. So this is the very famous medical doctor in America, Dr. William Osler. He was the founder of Johns Hopkins. Was a very famous physician. And this is his quote. He quoted that medicine is a science of uncertainty and the art of probability. It has been over 100 years. And when I was a student like you, our teacher, our professors, very often mentioned about this. But I'm going to share with you this morning about probability in our case still holds some true over here. However, because of the artificial intelligence, that the probability no longer has to be uncertain. Because of the calculation of computer science, it's no longer has to be uncertain. And especially in your age, when you become a doctor, it would be very, very uncertain, probably become so-called precision. So we're going to talk about this on today's topic. This is another very famous quote that I love it very much. It's Mother Teresa. I'm sure that most of you know how great the lady was. And she said that not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Not every doctor or every student like you will become a CEO or superintendent of the hospital. But you can contribute something in your later career. 不是每一个医学生像你们都可以像我当到院长。可是同一班的学生 as long as you are a doctor, you can show your love and make your contribution to the society or to your patients. Okay? So I just like to motivate you. Think about it. What kind of career you're going to do? Okay. So today's topic is about the clip. It's about how can we make a better place by 2030. My question is, how many of you did watch the full clip before the class? Okay. Let's give it a show hand, okay? Yes, I did watch the whole entire clips. Please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. And now I haven't had the time to watch it. Please raise your hand. And somewhere in between, barely. Oh, I did watch, but it seems not that interesting, so I just skip it. Barely. Anyone who honestly raise your hand? Okay. Before I come into the classroom, I got on the IMS, and actually only about 2/3 of the students did go search what kind of clip I attached in the IMS. So that means those who just raise your hand, probably you got on the IMS and find out where's the website. However, I think maybe 10 or 20% of students in this class, maybe you didn't have the time to watch it. So I don't mean that you skip the class, but that's what I'm trying to do is let's move on, and if you really didn't spend time to watch the clips, it will be maybe kind of hard for you to understand what we are going to discuss about today. Okay, so my first question is, which is not included in the SPI. If you do watch the clip, you should know what is SPI. Can anyone tell me what it is SPI? Those who just raise your hand, please let me know. I assume that you did watch. Do you know what is SPI? After the clips. I forgot. Obviously.
Wait, let me see the option.
Okay.
Wait.
Some of you know. I just want to randomly select. Most of you claim that you watch the clips. However, in the TED Talk, the speaker mentioned about SPI. Can anyone tell me what is SPI? Okay. If you dare to raise your hand, you must know the answer. I'm just going to do my survey. So how honest you are. Okay? Obviously. I did a survey last year, and only 30% of the students, 有些人你的学长只有30%看这个片子 before come to class. So I just want to tell you, when you become a medical student, you should know you have to be honest with yourself. Because you're going to face patient, if you don't show your honesty to your teacher, I don't think you will show your honesty to your patients. And in this profession, honesty is very, very crucial. We don't tell lie to patients, even though sometimes patients will sue us. Maybe we will tell white lie with good intention. But it's very, very important virtue of being honest with yourself, especially later on with your patients. Okay, social progress index. What is in the clips is the author is talking about. So obviously, GDP is not in the social progress index. That's the reason why I pick up the video for you to think about it. Many of us talking about mainland China right now is a very powerful country, very wealthy, and they kind of invade every country in the world because they have very powerful so-called GDP. But in other ways, if we think about how people in the mainland China, how about their basic human needs, how about their foundation of the well-being, and about the opportunity, about personal rights, personal freedom and choice, I think they are far behind us. Okay? So, if you say China is a very powerful country, and you say in Taiwan, many people say, oh, we should not fight with them because they're so strong, they're so powerful. Let's just surrender to them and go back to China. My question for you is, are you willing to sacrifice your personal rights and personal freedom like people in Hong Kong? Under national security law, you have no freedom of speech, no longer in Hong Kong. So people say, maybe Taiwan will become the next Hong Kong. Definitely, that's the right that we have to fight for. Okay? I want to put more focus on public health and P4 medicine. Remember these very important concepts. As a doctor, we're trying to prevent disease, prolong life, promote physical health and efficiency. Now, in your time, when you become a doctor, a participatory notion is important as well. So what do you mean by participation? We have to involve our patient, or we have to involve the general public when they are still not a patient. They have to participate in their health. Before, in the older time, it's impossible for us to reach them unless they come to hospital to see you. Okay? But nowadays, especially when you become a doctor in 10 years, participation has become a very, very natural, routine things. What do you mean by that? If you have an Apple Watch, okay, Apple Watch can tell you how about your heart rate, even your oxygen saturation, even your cardiac rhythm, 你的心跳心率. It's no longer a short period of contact. With the technology now, we can continuously monitor patient's status, or even a healthy adult can be monitored under these kind of technology. So participation becomes very, very important. 我们讲的穿戴装置 okay, Google wearing devices. These are very, very important for you to think about. When you become a cardiac surgeon or cardiologist, 心脏科医师, most of the patients will come to a cardiologist for medicine to control their hypertension, okay? But you have no idea how they deal with your medication. The compliance 中文翻成顺从. You, as a doctor, you have the right to prescribe medicine to your patient, but you have no means to monitor whether they really take your medicine. But with the technology now, we are able to do that. Take the example of the COVID-19. If you have been quarantined, stay in the house, we can check we can trace you simply based on your mobile phone, right? We'll send a text to you. How are you doing? What's your temperature? Please reply to us. That will become a very common practice when you become a doctor. So participation is a very important notion that will not only involve patient, we also involve the general public. So I would say 90% of people are healthy, and as a doctor, in the future, you need to find a way to reach those people, not sick yet, prevent, predict, personalize. That's very important, up-to-date, current medical doctors should take care of these very important notions. So it's all about reactive versus proactive. Maybe what do you mean by those? As a health provider driven, we take care of disease, mobility and disability. We treat patient, okay? But when you, in 10 years, you become you need to promote the notion of prevention. So it's all about participants driven, okay? I'm from the old time. I'm a kind of, I provide treatment. But when you become a doctor in 10 years, you provide prevention. It's very different, but it's already a common practice now with the technology. So I'll make you think about, this is not just a notion, it's also a very important, we call precision health planning. Remember the participation? Yeah. We are on this part, the older days. Early detection, prevent progression. Very easy for you to understand as a doctors. However, this we call sub-health status. Now you're in medical school, you try to learn how we treat disease. But right now, the cutting edge practice is we provide precision management and smart healthcare. What do you mean by smart healthcare? You all carry a smartphone, right? And your 健保卡 is a smart card, okay? So you need to provide smart healthcare with all the technology available. So it's this is 90% of people are general public are health, sub-health, and the trend is like this. This is the disease burden cost. As long as we using the technology like molecular detection, we can cut down the cost of disease burden. So it's very important for you to think about precision health planning. So this is a more clear cut for you to understand. We are, as you are now, trying to understand what's patient about, what kind of disease we are facing. However, think about these below the iceberg. We have a risk assessment, we have precision detection, we have health promotion. These are so-called precision health. It's very important for you to understand. This part is what we call older days. Has gone. Now, as a modern doctor, you have to think about this. However, everything we have to come to the basic is like this. Now, you probably heard about what is NGS, genomics. 听过这个，你们在高中的时候应该都，也许因为 because you want a medical student, you probably touch on these topics or even just a glimpse of them. But these are real. What do you mean by liquid biopsy? You know what is biopsy means? We cut a small skin and we send to a pathologist for diagnosis. We call this the process called biopsy. However, now we develop a liquid biopsy. We use a mucosa, your sweat gland, with some of your secretion of your body, and send it to a machine. A machine will make a diagnosis. We call liquid biopsy. So these are very cutting-edge technology for you to think about. You probably heard about AI a lot already, and POC, point of care. You don't want to wait for another week for the pathology report to come out, because if you are a lady with a breast lump, 你如果有乳房一个肿块, then you go to the hospital and the surgeon cut a small piece of the lump and send it to a pathologist for biopsy results. And in older time, we often say, oh, please come back to my OPD next week. Think about the entire week. This young woman or this young female patient, how much suffering she will have to face, or whether it's benign or malignant. As modern people, we don't want to wait for 1 week, right? We hope we can have the result immediately, just like COVID-19. If I want to go abroad right now, I have to go to the hospital, and they'll swab my mucosa of the throat. And if you come to our hospital by 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., within 2 hours, we take the swab. Then we will give you the report before 5 p.m. Then you will be able to fly out next day, as long as you pay 7,000 NT dollar. Understand? I don't want to wait for another 3 days for the report to come out. Let alone the whole week, entire week, is a torture to the patient. So right now, speed determines the value. So these technology are all trying to make the diagnosis shorter time and in more scientific way. This is the error that you're going to face. So remember, our patients have the access to the technology as well. And they have the knowledge. They will know what you are doing. Like 细胞治疗, cell therapy, target therapy, immunotherapy. We're going to build a proton therapy in this hospital probably next year. And robotic surgery is a very routine surgery now in the hospital. So this is your time. So I want to motivate you It's very, very challenging, but very interesting, and for you to get involved with this. However, precision health, well, I just now mentioned precision medicine, but precision health, these are right now your status. You need to think about this, because when you after the training for 6 years, you probably will be very much aware of this. But don't forget, these are the bottom, are the basic for the patient or the patient to be, okay? So my questions for you is, do you think medicine equals healthcare? Those who will say yes, please raise your hand. You think medicine equals to healthcare? Agree? Raise your hand. Disagree? No, medicine does not equal healthcare. Any comment? Those who choose one, please raise your hand. No, one, okay. And those, how about the rest of the people? You choose two? Or you have no idea? This question is for you to think about. Medicine is only part of healthcare. Medicine is only part of healthcare. Precision medicine, but how about precision health? So as a medical doctor to be, you will become a medical doctor. The mission for you is not only provide health medicine or precision medicine, you also have to so-called educate your patient for them to think about, or their family to think about precision health. Otherwise, you're going to see more and more patients, and you have no sense of achievement. 你会没有成就感，你的病人越看越多，都看不好。If you think that the more patient you have, that means they give you a sense of accomplishment. You're wrong. You're totally wrong. As a doctor, I encourage you educate your patient on precision health. Not only the patient themselves, but also their families, their relatives. If you are a family physician, family doctor, 你如果是家医科医师, what you take care of is about health, not just medicine. Okay? So for you to think about, the other question is, medical doctor to you is a job, a career, or an occupation, or a calling. Think about, I'll give you maybe 30 seconds to think about. Job 是工作 okay? Career 是一个事业 Occupation 是一个职业 Calling 是一个志业 I'm called to be a doctor. Or I just think that doctor is a job, which is pretty good pay, okay? 我们从第4个开始选。For you to think about medical doctor is a calling, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people. Thank you. For you to medical doctor is simply an occupation, please raise your hand. No? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. A career. Many of you think about it's a career. Okay. What about a job? Just a job. Like Uber Eats is a job. Food Panda is a job. I can do it when I have a motorcycle. I just register, I become a Food Panda food deliverer. Right? I've been on Uber taxi very often. And I'm very curious about why you are a driver for Uber. He said, I happen to a mother of 2 kids, and this is my free time. So she drove Uber around Taichung. Okay, thank you. Share with you when 34 years ago, when I was a student like you, I think medical doctor at that time for me is a career, but I have no idea how and when to start. So most of you just chose career as your medical journey. I would strongly urge you to pick up a role model and look into his career, his or her career, and try to learn the essence, the core value of your role model, how he or she treats career as medicine. It's important. This is the way they affect me. Many years ago, I found my role model when I was a freshman, like you, sitting in the classroom. I met a guy, I mentioned to you, a missionary doctor, and I realized, oh, medicine can make change, can change people's life, even health. So I realized that I want to become a very dedicated doctor. Then in later years, I found out, oh, to be a professor is also a very interesting and very attracting job. So I become registered in graduate school and write my thesis and got promoted to be a professor. So as a career, that means in certain years, when you reach to a certain stage, you will look for the next step. What will the next? When you become a student from high school to college, right? Just now, this is the current stage you are. Think about 6 years later, you become a PGY, postgraduate year 1, 2 in certain hospital, like ours. Okay, so in 8 years, you become resident. Now you have to think about, okay, what specialty I should go. I should get mastered, like surgeon, medicine, family medicine, ENT, easy notation. You know, ENT 就是耳鼻喉科啊 ear, nose, and throat, right? We have a funny name for them that they call easy notation. Yeah. During COVID-19, they are very much hurt. I would say hit. Their outpatient clinic dropped to more than 50%. This is the current status, okay? So I think I treat medicine as a career. And I really admire those 4 that you say they're calling. It's a calling to me. I congratulate that you already found your goal. I hope you keep up with it. Yeah. But honestly, I was simply a career seeker at that time. But just want to mention to you that think about this. Maybe right now you think that this school is just a temporary stop. You're trying to take the other exam next year. Yeah. Okay, that would be your planning, right? I have no idea. I have no comments. Yeah. Just want to be honest with yourself. Allow me to speak in Mandarin for you to understand what I'm trying to convey here. 如果你现在决定重考，在你80岁的人生里头，我才1年。OK， 那这1年到底对你人生有什么影响？我跟你讲，你跳到另外一个医学系，这1年你会觉得说，在我这么自身来看 ，it's a waste。 因为现在的医学系都差不多了 ，same curriculum, same type of teaching, same exam, similar exam。当然你说老师，我想get a better school or name, or you try to get enrolled in a more prestigious school. That's okay, yeah. But if you think medicine is a career, those prestigious schools not necessarily a help or a must to you, yeah. So I just want to urge you to think about this, yeah. I encourage you to face yourself honestly. So now we change skill. The entire history of medicine in the recent, say, 100 years, I think in medical school, in your high school days, you heard about SDG or MDG. Should be quite familiar with you, right? So anyone can tell me what is MDG? 就是2000年的那个计划。As I know, most of the high school students, if you want to become a medical student, you have to go through like UN, 怎么模拟联合国 ，OK， 模拟 WHO, yeah, okay. So internationally, what did these plans come from? It's a history. There's a history path here. I just want to tell you about this. MDG starts on the year 2000 by UN, United Nations. And before that, that's lots of World War II struggle, okay? So until in 2012, there's Istanbul Principles. Then they have a declaration in 2005 in Paris. So this is all about MDG and SDG sit-in. So let's go back to 2020, year 2000, 20 years ago. The UN said that by year 2000, we like to promote these can be balanced. As the clip that you just watched, if you honestly watched, how can we make a better world by 2030? And this is all about, because by 2020, year 2000, UN already promote on this. So what about the correlation with our medicine, with health? Think about this. Combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other disease. 20 years ago, when you were even not born yet, right? The goal is, the UN said that we're going to spend 15 years to reach a better world. 2015, just 5 years ago. But obviously, we did some progress, but not enough. So 2016, SDG was put out. Let's come back to medicine. It's about good health and well-being. Okay, good health, not good medicine, okay? And good health, remember I just mentioned to you precision medicine and the precision health. Internationally, people are talking about health and well-being. What do you mean by well-being? The definition of well-being by WHO is you have to stay normal or healthy, not only on physical, but psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. You have to be a sound health. That's what we call well-being. So not just take care of the physical problem. Physical problem is very, very lower class of doctors. You have to take care of the patient's emotion, patients, their compliance, why they cannot comply with your instruction. So as a doctor, it's total care. It's total approach. So good health and well-being is important as you become a doctor. But how about quality education? You are a very lucky guy. You know, Taiwan is the most inexpensive country in terms of medical education. Yeah, you may argue with me, oh, Professor, there are some countries in the world, medical school is free. Does anyone know what are those countries that medical education is free? Your parents just pay lots of so-called tuition for you to sit here, right? And what are you trying to do is watching your cell phone without listening to what the professor was talking about. Because you are not under a stress. That's the big difference from American medical student. Their tuition is probably 10 times of yours. So they work very hard. We have students, last year we have students, we sent students, your seniors, to Tufts Medical University in Boston. Tufts, very famous, equal to like Harvard, okay? And you know, your seniors, they told me they have to get up at 4 a.m., take train to hospital and prepare all the manuscript or all the charting, and try to discuss with the attending. The attending arrived hospital at 6 a.m. And they continue the process for entire 2 months, 8 weeks. When they come back, they saw Taiwan is such relaxed. Nobody would get up at 4 a.m., right? To catch a train to Boston, to Tufts University, the clinics. Yeah. The difference is quality of education. I was in Africa. I was a visiting professor in Africa, the medical school there. Quality education to them is simply compared to yours. You are in heaven, but you don't know because 人在福中不知福. You take everything granted. The school is a mess, right? We're trying to improve it. So if you did concern about what is SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, our patient, your future patient, if they don't have a clean water and the climate change probably will bring more disasters to us. So they are interconnected. So why, as a doctor, I would urge you to learn interdisciplinary, 就是跨领域学习. You not just come to medical school to learn medicine, because medicine is correlated with quality of education and clean water as a climate change that would all affect our patient. And what about gender equality? Equality is different from equality. Gender is kind of an issue. Well, so as a doctor, what kind of a gender issue are you going to face? I'll give you an example. If I think I did this last time, 产科医师, medical term called obstetrics. OBGYN, GYN 是 gynecologist 是妇科 obstetrics 是产科。那 I'll let you know what do you mean by gender issue in terms of medicine. If you think all the nurses, and in your mindset, most of the nurses are female, you're wrong. Because there are about 30% of nursing students are male, okay? And as for obstetrics, if you are a female obstetrics, when you get pregnant, you are not allowed to work during the wee hour, 就是大夜的事情. Then that means, as a policy maker, I have to think about the balance of obstetrics, the gender issue becoming important for policymakers to think about how many obstetricians, 就是产科医师, that we're going to protect for male students to get involved. Unfortunately, most of the male don't compete or cannot compete with the female. Well, I'm not trying to wage a war here. 我不在这边要挑起两性战争。But I have to tell you, 男生是拼不过女生。In competing with job, you may say that, I don't see many female surgeons. I say wrong. Now we have many female surgeons. So what about urologist? Urologist 就是泌尿科医师。How do you think about if a urologist happened to be a female? 有没有想过？ The problem with prostate, suppose. And I go to a urology clinics, and it happened to be a female one, a very attractive female one, urologist. It really happened before, yeah. The patient got erected immediately in front of the doctor. Who is too embarrassed? 我觉得是比较难为情 patient or the doctor. So we supposedly say, most of the urologists should be male because they are treating male organs, right? No. What about gynecologists? We have many gynecologists. They are male doctors, right? So think about the gender issue. And nurse student, your colleagues, most of them are either female or male. Gender issue, probably. That's for entire your environment. Now I want to force you to think about what about the patient. If the patient happened to be a male in appearance, but all he acts is a female, he asks for go to lady room instead of little boy's room. You cannot make fun of this kind of patient, okay? Because you are a professional. You should think about gender issue in terms of like gays, lesbian, or transformer. These people that you will meet them sooner or later in the hospital or in some kind of a special occasion. So these 70 goals, maybe only narrowly down to like goal 3, but I tell you, it's really interconnected. So I'd like to give you an idea about what is globalization versus localization. There's a sociologist called Roland Robertson. In 1980, he proposed that co-presence, both universalizing and particularizing tendencies. This photo is really vividly depicts the idea. Starbucks. with a very Asian Chinese building's rooftop. Those locals to consult global resources for materials and techniques, and then adapt them for local use. So think globally and act locally. This is the mission that you have to learn. Maybe after graduation, you're not going to practice medicine in Taiwan. Maybe you'll end up in some country like Swatini or Philippines or whatever. You have to respect the local culture. It's a very important training for medical students. You have to learn the patient's tendency, the patient preference. If you are not so-called universalizing enough, you are not able to understand why your patient acts like this. So you have to broaden your experience, your life experiences. 有人说你们是温室中的花朵，也许你从来不洗过碗，也许你知道有人三餐不继。Because most of you are coming from a very, at least middle income household, right? How can you tell? How can you feel how poverty means since you have no such experiences? How can you be a good doctor because you have no idea what is poor country, poor family look like? So as a doctor to be, you need to learn all walks of life. Try to explain your so-called your life experiences through like extracurricular activities. 参加课外活动，参加一些 NGO 的活动。Don't just live in your box. Outreach, because that's important for you to learn that your future patient they will look like. Yeah, I know most of you think, oh, as long as I study hard, I got good grades, then I'll become a good doctor, got a good specialty to master. Oh. So what's next? If you don't understand the basic needs for your patient, how you can act locally. I mean, locally here means how you respond to your patient properly. It's not easy. If I have no experience ever, the next few slides I will show you what kind of country I've been in. I go there as an observer, maybe a sociologist, you think. I try to understand why people live like this. And I try to respect them instead of help them. Help, the notion of help or assist means that you are powerful. You're more powerful than the people that you give help to. That's not good. I learned one thing. I go there to serve, not to help. To help, that means you're sitting, I'm standing. I'm much taller than you. I give you help, like you were Uncle Sam. Americans very often go to every part of the world. They would help without respecting local people's needs. Then they go, they leave, and people hate them. So as a doctor, a future doctor, think about to serve. Calling, to be a medical doctor is a calling. That means we are born to serve our patient. And if you want to serve patients, serve people, the first thing you have to learn is how people's life, how people lives in their environment. Otherwise, you're only just a medication prescriber. That's all. You don't care about how patient will follow your order, how patient will take your pills regularly, you're not a good, successful doctor at all. You won't just a prescriber. I tell you, pills subscriber probably will become a job for robotics. 这个工作可能会就变成机器人取代。如果你只是会开药 ，without take care of the patient's real needs. Okay, in 2006, I went to Kenya. They have a Rift Valley fever. There's a pandemic. I should call epidemic. Rift Valley fever is something like dengue fever, 就像我们的登革热一样 also transmitted by mosquito. And the government of Kenya declared it's a national disaster, national emergency. They call for any help, any assistance from the world are welcome. So that's why I was sent there to help them with to combat with Rift Valley fever. I didn't bring medicine at all. I did not bring whole team, medical team go there. I just went there to inspect and assess. And I came up with a solution that the government of Taiwan gave me, say, 30,000 US dollar, 大概100万 to purchase bed nets. 就是那个 bed nets 怎么翻？那个睡觉有一个什么蚊帐啊，蚊帐对 bed nets and coated with medicine, so all the mosquitoes were killed. And the people sleep in the bed nets. So we got rid of the fever, Rift Valley fever, in 3 months. It's gone. I didn't bring any medical team or advanced hospitals, simply just locally purchased 30,000 US dollar bed nets to the entire community, something like here. This is a map of Africa. I just want to mention to you that Kenya is on the east part of Africa. So again, precision medicine and precision health. As a medical doctor, I provide them with health instead of medication, medicine, right? So think about, as you're a doctor, you can also provide health and medicine, which is more effective. It's for you to think about. So I did have the local counterpart as Great Lake University in Kisumu. This is the school 校长，they call vice chancellor. 在英制的国家啊，那个校长是叫做副校长，啊，那个校长都是那个就跟英国女皇一样是没有权利的。VP, they call it VP, vice chancellor, my very good friend, and this is his wife. And this gentleman, Dr. Lu, will be the next speaker. Next week, next Friday, he'll be here. Originally, I planned a lady, Miss Wang. She happened to have some physical conditions, so she was not able to come. Dr. Lu said she will take her place, and I hope he will share it with you. He used to be the representative, health representative for government of Taiwan in Africa for many years. In Malawi, in South Africa, yeah. Dr. Lu, he will be the next speaker for the next session. Okay, so we visit there and try to help them with the health centers. So international health is all about collateral, a multilateral cooperation. And it's a specific program. Yeah. This is how I worked when I became a professor here. I was very much interested in this. Remember my role model at the American missionary doctor? I dreamed about going abroad and and serving people there with my knowledge to make a difference. That's my dream. And because my role model taught me. That's why I end up in international health. And I also learned we have to respect people in the locals, in the communities. So you have to develop a core sensitivity, humanity, and health, human rights. That's a universal value. Okay, and right now in current situation, as a Taiwan delegates, we often go cooperate with NGO because we have no so-called, because China claim that we're part of them, right? So whenever I show up, they say, "Oh, you're from China?" I say, "No, I'm from Taiwan." Where's Taiwan? Isn't that part of China? I say, "No, no, 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 no." So the value is for humanity, medical humanity. And there are some key so-called index that we are trying to evaluate or assess a country's performance in terms of health, like infant mortality rate, life expectancy, maternal mortality rate, TB prevalence rate, and so on. These terms for you may be, oh, our infant mortality rate is very, very low. But I tell you, Japan is lower than us. Even though we claim we are pretty much better off country now, we still have problems. Our TB prevalence, I say, TB, doesn't that from Africa? No, because we have AIDS patient, HIV patient. HIV patient might suffer from tuberculosis. So TB now is a potential threat to Taiwan. You don't believe it? You better believe it, because without the COVID-19, most of the so-called negative pressure ward, 那个负压隔离病房, most of the time, a TB patient was there. We still have TB prevalence, TB patients to a certain amount. So maybe your next question is, what about now? If we have COVID-19 patient and TB patient, are we able to cope with them with the very limited medical resource? So luckily, COVID-19 did not bring us a strong hit. But I tell you, in many other countries, TB patient in those countries become a nightmare, because not enough isolation room. Maybe in international assistance, some countries like Taiwan somehow carry with some political purpose. I cannot deny it, because we are in such awkward position in international society. That's our destiny. Yeah. Remember, 40 years ago, I was a student like this. We also faced the same problem. I tell you, when I was the first year medical student in this country, in this university, America broke up the diplomatic tie with us. 1978. Many of the professors fled to Japan, the US, because they know that they thought that Taiwan would become Red China. Obviously, no. But 40 years later, we're still facing the same problem from Red China, right? And then become a very powerful country. Thanks to Donald Trump. President Donald Trump really has very hard words on China, right? They even call China virus. Oh, that's a very strong political statement. China virus. We don't call them. But when you are traveling in the world and people say, "Oh, are you from China?" How can you tell the difference. Oh, I'm from Taiwan. Taiwan is a different country. Or maybe, oh yeah, we're part of China. Culturally, maybe we're part of Chinese culture. But politically and many ideally, we're different, right? You have to think about how to explain the situation to your friends in other countries. Think about this. Maybe it's, oh, I'm not interested in traveling abroad. Traveling abroad. I just want to be a very mediocre doctor in Taiwan. Yes, okay, that's your career. So it depends on how you plan your career. Okay. Maybe for business, yeah. 马英九政府 once thought that international health can be brought the business to us. And as an academician, I also think about how we carry out some research with other countries. So again, I think Taiwan participating in international health only through NGO, and we provide multidisciplinary services. We help the community to build their capacity building, and strongly for you, your strong, powerful weapon is you are able to provide a digital gap filling. It's very, very important. You all learn computer a lot. You know how to help those so-called underprivileged countries or communities, how to help them with the digital gap. Again, Tuvalu is the country that we serve as a Zhongshan Medical University Hospital. We have the connection with this country's hospital for over 16 years. It's a very tiny country, just like this. It's somewhere over Fiji and the South Pacific country. Tuvalu is over here. Very small country, only 12,000 population. Can you imagine? Only 12,000, less than Nanton区. Yeah. But they claim, look, internationally, they are a country registered in the UN. Instead of 23 million Taiwanese, no, we're not part of the UN, right? We are part of China. Tuvalu happened to be a member in the United Nations. So politically, they are stronger. They are powerful than us. So in 17, when Tsai Ing-wen visited Tuvalu, I was appointed to be, I have to do a briefing to the president. Yeah, this Prince Margaret Hospital was donated by a Japanese government. We helped the Zhongshan Medical University Hospital, help them to like digital, like electronic data set. 他们用的那个挂号系统、看诊系统全部是我们中山。Yeah, they're all in English. So Tuvalu is the first country in the South Pacific area using digital, using electronic medical records. So UN, WHO Director General was very surprised. That's why last year he flew to Tuvalu to see how our hospital can reach such a digital gap, to shorten the gap. So President, and this is their Vice Prime Minister. And I also went to University of Malaya to promote the health literacy. So this is the international exposure. I try to let this part of the world, the country, know we are from Taiwan. And last year I was in Tuvalu, and they have a Pacific Forum conference there. So the DG, 现在那个谭德赛, we were on the same flights. This gentleman. It took us 30 years. No Taiwanese diplomats ever had a chance to take a photo with the DG General of WHO. We did it with our expertise. Have no political grounds. As long as you are smart enough, you help, you meet their needs, then people can see you. People will say yes. So, you see, he said, come on, Dr. Tsai, take a photo together. But in the end, he told me, please don't tag on Facebook, otherwise mainland China would be very furious. So I can re-show the picture in front of class. I can put this on the Facebook. So you're lucky because you're my students. I tell you, I'm the only, probably very few doctors had the chance to meet him and take photo together. All because we have served the country, the hospital, for 16 years. I didn't bring a whole huge medical team to Tuvalu. All I did is I do a national dental checkup for all the kindergarten and elementary schools kids. 我帮他们所有的幼稚园、小学的学生做一个全面性的牙齿检查。Never done it before in this country. They were so amazed. Yeah, we sent 4 dentists using a year to finish the survey, which is not easy because Tuvalu means 9, number 9. They have 9 islands, very far. If you take boat to travel the entire 9 islands, it takes 2 months. Okay, 2 months, not 2 weeks, not 2 days. Huge, huge, huge country. Yeah, so this is the ministry of our MOFA, Foreign Affairs, Wu Buzang. He was there, and we took him forward. This is the team I brought. This is the nutritionist. 这是我们医院的营养主任。这是我们的 IT， 我们医院的资讯室的主任。Yeah, this is what 这是皮肤科医师。See, not bring medicine only. We bring infrastructure. We help them to eat well, eat health. We help them with IT advancement. These are very important perspective in terms of international health. So think about the poverty, happiness, love, and come back to so-called social progress index. It's all about well-being, right? Freedom of speech. Do I have a sense of satisfaction? You know a country called Bhutan, yeah. They feel happy even though they are kind of 100 years far behind the current worldwide standard. So what I'm trying to leave, we even added a book about Tuvalu. I know we are a small country like Taiwan. We are in a canoe. But through your expertise, you're going to learn. You can be outreach to very, very far country. Tuvalu takes 4 flights from Taipei to Tuvalu. 4 flights, 2 days. That's the shortest. We are not, it's not a country like Palau. 现在要开放了 Palau 有没有？那个 travel bubble 有没有？ Palau only takes 3 hours from Songshan Airport to Palau's airport. I was in Palau for scuba diving for several times. Xinguang was the hospital who's responsible for the health care in Palau. Zhongshan, why we chose such a remote country? Because at that time, 16 years ago, no medical centers in Taiwan would like to go serve in Tuvalu because too far. The founder of this university, Zhou Wuchuan Bosi, he said, no people would like to go, then we will go. So 16 years ago when he was still alive, he said, let's go to Tuvalu because At that time, no hospital in Taiwan would like to go there. Very, very far country. So we end up having 16 years connection with them. Even just last week, the national holiday, birthday, I had a chance to talk with the ambassador of Tuvalu to Taiwan in Taipei. They still feel very grateful for all the connection, all the relationship we built up in the past 16 years. So this ends up my the third talk. I just want to motivate you that your career planning can be very, very far or multi-channel, but you have to start now. Start planning your career. Maybe 重考. Maybe you start to join some club or went to some activities to broaden your vision. It's important because you have time. If you are on the third or fourth year, you probably don't have time to reach because lots of school works will keep you from doing that. But the first and second year in your medical school is for you to think about and act about what kind of career you're going to have. I just share with you my career planning when I was the first and second year. I try to engage all kinds of extracurricular activities. Even though my classmates say, hey, you spend too much time on 课外活动. But that really broadened my vision. I used to be a salesman to a theater. 以前你们可能不知道，因为我以前在卖票的。我说你当医学生怎么会在卖票呢？因为我认识很多剧团的人，然后他们要来台中公演，我说哇 ，I'll be the manager for your 这个票房。So I end up knowing many people. They disappear now. However, medicine can be a very helpful tool for you to explore and open up your future. It all depends. You act now. Okay, questions or comments? Some people ask me about the format. I'll make it clear. Next week, we will invite Louis来做一个演讲，题目他还没有告诉我。然后你就是从我们9月上课到现在，你可以 pick up any sessions， 然后写你的 reflection， 用 4F 的 method， 然后是 A4 size 2 page， 你要 single sided 还是要 double sided？It all depends on you 啊，不要用手写的。I had a hard time to recognize your handwriting. OK， 那你要什么放着是随便你啊。如果你只是把它当成，因为你要准备重考，所以你随便写写，我也可以接受啊。不过你不要真的给我随便写写，因为你给我随便写写，我也随便给你一个分数。那没关系，如果你不想写，就没有分数。你还有下半场黄教授的课，黄教授课就是很硬邦邦的，会给你们塞很多的 medical terms， 那个有考试，所以你到最后还是会有分数。这样的吗？有人写信问我说：“你到底要干嘛？” Very simple， 我也在那个给你们的那个 IMS 里面写的，可还是有人问，是看不懂我写的英文是不是？啊 ，4F 只是帮助你 clear out what you're going to try to say. No Chinese, okay? They're supposed to do a medical English class, so I expect all the essays are written in English. 不要用抄的，也很难抄了哈。Any points I ever raised in the classroom are welcome. Or you just simply want to do a report, which is not my original purpose. What I want is your reflection instead of your report. 你不要再交个报告上来说，哦，蔡教授第一堂课给我们上了什么什么什么，第二堂课给我们上了什么什么，第二堂课上，然后完结束哈。这个 use your reflection， 最好写 can really motivate or touch move me， 你的 reflection 可以让我感动，你的分数就会很高。那如果很多人不知道怎么写 reflection，4F 是一个还蛮好的 format。那你想想看 ，What have you found? What's the facts? What's the future? I expect next week the speaker will be very exciting because he's the one really spent time in Africa. Not like me. I just flew there a month and come back. He stayed there for several years. So he's a very interesting guy. So I hope you will you'll get something out of his talk. Any questions? Or any feedback? Okay. When's the due? 23rd will be the last session we're going to meet, and I hope that either before or after your midterm. 你们什么时候期中考？11月2到5。So whether you welcome that after the midterm, so you have much more time to prepare your midterm, or you prefer after the midterm. 你们赞成期中考后再交的举手。Obviously, yeah. All right. I'm a very flexible person. 没有问题哈。所以我们就定校庆后交，好吧？11月12号是校庆，好像是礼拜4，是吧？那就是那个11月13号礼拜5的下午5点钟交，可以吗？好。Friday, November 13th, 5 p.m. 不要交给我，你交给系办，不要 email 给我，因为 I probably will lost。我每天要看200-300封 email， 我可能会把你 lost 掉哈。所以一律交到系办。我希望你们type报出来，然后把你的学号写清楚，我才能够给你分数。有的人交了以后完全不知道是谁啊，后来是把全部都缴完，就这个人没有交，就知道那个是他的。不要太兴奋了，就打完就交了哈。就把你的学号写清楚，然后就2页啦啊，然后要双面单面啊，字体大小随便你啊 ，try to impress me 这个2页不包括说你要不要有 cover 哈，你要有 cover 随便你啊，只是你的 contents 必须在2页内完成啊，这样好吗？有人会做很漂亮的封面 ，try to impress me， that's okay. I welcome that. 可是 you don't really have to do that. Yeah. What is important is your contents. 你那个设计什么都不重要，重点是你的内容。那我真的会一个一个看 ，because I enjoy talking to you through your essay. 如果你希望我给你 reflection， 我第一个会给你分数啦，哈。那如果 you really touched me, I'll send you an email. Okay, that's a promise. 我有你们每个人的 email. Yeah. If you really， 我不会跟你讲说这个全班第1名是谁，我不是那种高中老师啦，我是大学教授啊，我不会排名哦。这一次那个 essay 第1名是谁？那是 nonsense. But if you really get my email after the writing, that means I like your writing. Okay? Make sure your email is valid, so I will not miss you. 之后我们可能见不到了，23以后之后就是黄老师的课。I probably will see you maybe when you are in a 3rd year or 4th year, because I'm now working in the hospital, very busy. My secretary is waiting for me. I'm going to have a lunch meeting. However, I always treasure the time to spend with you guys, because I want to motivate you, I want to encourage you. Even Zhongshan can make a difference as long as you have your sound career planning. Doesn't matter where you locate. It's important. my schoolmates, my classmates, several of them are very famous professors as well now in Taiwan medical community. The most famous one you can check on him, 刘伟明教授，我的同班同学，北医附设医院妇产科的主任。He had a story. He wrote his own story, tragic, his personal tragic story. Oh, he's a remarkable person. 他有他的缺点，有他的优点啊。If you want to get on Facebook and look for him, yeah, he's an interesting guy to not have to be role model one, but it's interesting that he's a so-called 学长, yeah. And I'm also your 学长. What you have found about my past is all on the IOH, right? So I'm a very totally transparent person. If you're interested in me, you just go to IOH. Probably will tell you what kind of person when I was and now and in the future. In 5 years, when you graduate from this school, I retired at the same time. So 我们有缘的，就你们毕业的时候，我也毕业了 ，officially retired from this university because when you reach age of 65, 你就要 retire. That's the school's regulation. 那因为我是院长，所以我现在61岁哈，所以我可以做到6年的 term， 就是做到我67，刚好就是你们毕业那一年。所以我们会跟你一起毕业啊，只是 you have the career to open and I'm going to end up my career. So maybe you will say, oh, you can carry on staying in the hospital. I probably will do other things. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. It's important for you to plan. Even myself, I just sit down in this position, but I already start to think about what will be the next. As important, career-wise, you need to have a step-by-step and have a planning, have a goal. Like 2030, how can we make a better world? Even though the goal is kind of hard to reach, but as long as there is a goal, now you find a direction. Yeah. 所以你问我说啊，老师你8月才接院长，你现在就在想你6年后要干嘛呀？ 我是这样的人。I encourage you to think about it. Then you will become a successful person in your career. Okay. Thank you for coming. And next Friday, 10 o'clock, we have a invited speaker. See you next week. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.